Hello, Leo. Welcome to your reading for May 13th through the 19th. We have quite a bit of progress. Let me get out into the week. And what it looks like is this Sun conjunct Uranus event is going to be exploding in your career, your 10th house. So you might have been feeling like you were having to work late nights. You have a lot of symbolism coming up with animals. So if various people in your life have been sort of showing up in different animals. So like say you are thinking about a friend and then, on TV you start seeing a nature documentary about a specific animal. For my Leos, it's just giving you insights. What I love to do is look up the dream meaning of an animal. So it's sort of like taking the concept of our waking life being this meeting ground for messages to get through to us. And I would say that this feels like a message, like you guys are at a moment where your career is going to get more formal. It's going to expand into a new capacity for you guys to express yourself, for you guys to show up in the world. And if you have had any setbacks in your career with maybe mentors or not knowing where to find mentorship for what it is that you're doing specifically, I see someone coming in to guide and assist your process, which it feels really good. Seeing that your 10th house is in Taurus, you guys are getting a lot of solid lineups. So if you have had to deal with like flaky events, things changing with the Mercury retrograde, just know that was almost like foreplanned to shake you loose of outdated ways of staying fixed, of being really convinced. I'll say convinced rather than compacted, but you were convinced that if certain things didn't come in a specific order, then they were no longer going to happen. But I think that you're branching out. You're getting a bigger sense of uniformity because Saturn is moving through your 8th house. So there is a sense of something that's been building for a while, reaching a new level. So congratulations on that. And as well, in your 2nd house of value, you've been having to get really resourceful, I sense it as like your fears have been making you look at things with fresh eyes. You've been having to take steps from like the worst case scenario. So for any of you guys who have been dealing with like things you couldn't have foreseen, just know that is an energy that you're clearing. You're having to decide that you deserve better, and in doing that you have to start to be more strategic and get those strategic partnerships in alignment. Have your plan and then prepare for the unexpected. Prepare to change your plans, especially with what's cracked. Like what really just was kind of like piecemeal. You had to you felt strung along. Maybe you were having to I'm seeing a lot of like night and worst case fears coming true. So for my Leos in the career sector, you've had to really come to a place where you're willing to get still and peaceful with what you couldn't control. And in doing that, you've been able to activate new people to come forth, new projects to take off. But it hasn't been without its sense of cloudiness. You haven't been very I would say feeling straight on with a lot of things that you wanted quicker results, you wanted quicker answers to. However, with this conjunction, with Mars in Aries, it's telling us to continue to run, to continue to sprint to the finish line. So with what things you can control, just know that you'll find that those pieces fit together really well, whether it's in a romantic setting, let's say that you and a loved one or a romantic partner have been not really able to see things eye to eye. I sense that from the Sun conjunct Uranus moment, we're getting to a place where we know what is our genius. We know how to move. And then with the moon in Leo, it's really giving us a sense of purpose in sharing these messages, in making sure that we have the emotional conviction behind what it is that we're giving to the world. So let's look at Mars Day. I sense that there's going to be some major delightful events. Let's look at Mars at 10 degrees Aries. For inside degrees, roots of a tree entwined around the statue of a nude woman. So it's going to feel like, I think, a very sensual moment on Tuesday. You're going to really have this sense of umph because Mars is in conjunction with the North Node. So it's like that grit, that staying power, that lasting power, the longevity. You've had to do a lot of work, I would say, in the dream realm. With Cancer in your 12th house, it's like your feelings over like the course of the past month, the past lunar cycle, with major activations in Aries and in Scorpio, which is your 4th house. You've been feeling like your home is your sacred space, but then being able to carry that out into a wider sense of, your perception of how things are going to pan out for you, how what you're achieving and what you're bringing into existence is going to last beyond you. And I sense that your legacy gets a bit of a hit, like a bit of a, if you know the sport, what's it called, where people are on rollerblades and they do sort of like a baton race. I think that, I forget the name of what it's called, like roller derby. You're getting that moment of like absolute acceptance, absolutely coming out ahead from whatever it was that was shaky, that was causing you to seek help. So you're moving ahead. You have confidence. You have oomph. With Mercury leaving a conjunction from Chiron, I believe that you guys are going to be having maybe some contracts that are ready to go, ready to move ahead. And I see that on this Tuesday, the sun hits 24 degrees Taurus. So it's in a trine with Black Moon Lilith, which is a cloud that is around the moon. It's like following this evolution of the moon. And we have a sense of our value coming out ahead of our worst fears. So the contracts that are forming and that are coming to be are ones that are really proclaiming a sense of victory, I would say, for you guys. So let's look at Mercury Day. Celebrate your victory. You guys, it looks like you've had to really work, and then Black Moon Lilith moves ahead a degree. So it's still in conjunction in this trine with the sun. And because Uranus is also a part of this conjunction, it's 2 degrees out from the sun and from Black Moon Lilith. I think that the projects that are gone, that we're able to draw the value out of, like, we want to use all of the plant. We want to use all of the parts that it's called adding hours, from this great mind who, I'm fumbling my words here, but skip the line. We're seeing that, yes, there is conflict and, some agitation from what's fallen away. But when we can extract the gold from that, our favorite parts of it, I would say, Leo, your favorite parts really do make the difference between who's attracted to you and what you're able to bring about in the world and who you're able to meet and connect with. So when you're wearing your favorite shoes, you have your favorite beverage, you have your hair looking right and feeling good, I think that you slip more into a sense of compassion for yourself. So whatever you could do to bring more compassion to you because of this boost that you're getting with the North Node in Aries, and with Mars forming a closer conjunction, closer aspect to the North Node. 12, 11, 10, 9. we're believing in ourselves more, Leo. So on this Mercury day, prepare to get your gratitude list going. Like, find a way to get some ideas onto paper. Just seeing that Venus is at this degree of passion, and it's something that you don't want to send like a heated email to someone who maybe isn't on board with how things are going to move forward. Rather, you just prepare yourself to, speak your truth, declare your truth loud and proud, but do it for people who are willing to meet you and see you and really respect what it is that you have to say, what it is that needs to come forth. Jupiter day. So Jupiter is at 27 degrees Taurus. So we're seeing, like, in the outer world, forward action that feels really soul aligned. So Black Moon Lilith is also at this net 7 degree. And I would say that it's like, in the moment, things are coming up. But if we've crossed our T's, dotted our I's, we're finding that there is purpose behind all of this, maybe like tedious work, all the pieces that we had to wait for, that we weren't really sure would land as they are, they're landing. And Saturn, with a net 8, but at 17 degrees, Saturn in Pisces is a kangaroo and her baby who looks out from the mother's pouch. So there's this perspective of awareness of the ancestors, awareness of the self, and our own perspective that has to have arisen, has to have come through all of our experiences that we've faced and that have brought us value, brought us transformation, allowed for us to think in these ways that are informed with Mercury being out of shadow completely by Jupiter day. At this 1 degree Taurus, we're knowing fully who we are, what we love, and how our career and our work, our life's work has transformed us. Even if it's like you're retired and you're just now starting a garden, and maybe it's a community garden and it's something that you are organizing volunteers for, you are coming into a sense of immense space. You know what you know. You're open to learning more. You're advocating for a sense of being at the forefront of like a council of some sort. And then this is bringing in a lot of resources for you guys. So the moon is going to be in Virgo. I'll just say at 10 degrees for the time that I'm looking at, which is overnight. Let me go back 6 hours for my East Coasters. So the moon will still be in Virgo at 7 degrees. We're going to have, I believe, this feeling that things have changed for good. Like, I've had a few moments over the weekend where I woke up and I was like, where am I? Like, this is a whole new dimension of feeling, being, belonging in my reality. And it's because of the things that I'm willing to do every day and show up consistently on a day-to-day basis for. So let's look at Taurus at 27 degrees, in inside degrees, that is a man sculpting hedges into animal forms. Wow, I feel like we saw that. Yeah, so coming back to the start of the week, this journey that you're going on and the animal symbolism, I would play with that visually, Leo. Like, find a way to work it into whatever it is that you're working on. Bernadette King also might be someone to look into. She is an animal reader. There are lots of people who communicate with animals and their energy. And I would just say that doing things that activate your imagination and creativity at this time are really going to be propelled with Venus and Taurus, because there is going to be a very strong staying power to whatever has the most sense of like natural eco sustainability to it. Because when we look at the younger generations, yes, our devices are appendages, they're objects that we rely on and need, but there is a sense of purpose for this younger generation of being connected with the planet. And I think that whatever you're doing, if you're involving your career, your legacy, take time to be with animals this week. Take time to go to a farm, to find horses on a pasture, get some carrots and feed horses if you have a veterinary clinic. Find a way to volunteer. I just sense that it's going to be really supportive for you, emotionally supportive this week. And then let's look at Venus Day. Friday, Venus in Taurus at 22 degrees. So at the beginning of the week, we had the Sun conjunct Uranus event, and that is going to be ringing for us, bringing in that sense of, I want to say whodunit, but also stability. Yeah, Page of Fire. So we're seeing amplification, we're seeing traffic, we're seeing people asking questions about what it is that we're doing. They're getting plugged into us. Like, we're reaching new audiences. We are expanding our sense of connectedness in our relationships. There is a definite sense of, it's obvious. It's obvious where what we've been cultivating is growing and who is there to support us, because we do deserve to be celebrated, Leo. And this is going to be something that you're innovating in ways that are really with the times. They're speaking to the breath of the dawn. And we are not only wanting more of that, Leo, but come Venus Day, it's going to be time to really celebrate it, to really feel into what it is that you are finally seeing emerge. And with that energy and an intention to, I would say, because Mercury is at 2 degrees and Venus is at that 22 degree, and Pluto is retrograde at 2 degrees in your 6th house, your day-to-day life is changing to accommodate more of your passions. And we're going to need to have the opportunity and the ability to really get what we're kindling into the hands of our users, into our audience. So whatever you're doing to redefine yourself, make sure that you're sharing, make sure that you have people aware of what's going on. While it's great to be anonymous and have our anonymous projects, there's still things like Reddit, like platforms where you could find an audience for you and catch some people who really would be missing out without what it is that you're building. Let's look at Saturn Day. So Saturn in Pisces, and it is moving. Oh my goodness. So it'll be at the final degree of 17 degrees in 59 seconds. That's exciting. It feels like the spiritual is becoming more of a norm. While maybe I'm speaking from this sense of like, we know what we know and we are attuned to that energy. And while we respect what we've been taught and maybe even indoctrinated with throughout our lives, the moon moving through Libra is going to give you guys a sense of that camaraderie we were seeking. So, go to your local farmer's market, go to your favorite cafe and hang out for a few hours and see what it is that comes to you, whether it's like a new book, a new movie, a new place to go hang out, like a new date spot. Maybe you can meet up with friends who are active in a community project, but it's going to bring about a sense of definite connection. Again, with the animals, it feels like you're going to have this sense of deep comfort and affirmation from the animals appearing for you this week. And I also feel that Pisces at 29 degrees, that is in your 8th house. You guys are having a new faith brought in, and it's, again, undeniable, and your beliefs are changing. The associations, the codependency, the addictive behaviors are really fading out. And you guys are having a reclaimed sense of purpose and identity around radiating from the heart and what it is that you are connected to and what it is that you're making. All right, so Sunday, for my Leos, Saturn moves to a net 9. So from whatever we've been building with the sun at 29 degrees Taurus, we're going to have very sure and affirmative notions. I think and I sense that with the moon on the south node, we'll know that what's gone is not coming back. Whoever is gone is not coming back, but we don't have space for that anymore. We're not really wanting to bring in energy that couldn't work for us. And with with Mars at a net 5, it might come out in our communications. And I would just say take some space from your devices. Like, if it stresses you out to get texts from people who you are no longer in agreement with, or things didn't work out, make sure that you like mute their notifications if they're messaging you, or just have some time where you're not just going to interact. Like, you're not going to be with your phone, perhaps. Maybe you can get away from your phone for a few hours, and be sure with that net 5 Mercury, net 5 Uranus, any new and weird ideas that stand out are a very good ticket to ensure that you are staying refreshed, you're staying informed, you're staying amused. Amuse yourself with a really strong audiobook that has a message that could help you to communicate your ideas in new ways. I sense that you guys are needing to communicate your ideas in new and inspiring ways because of that, all of the 5s in the chart, and then Uranus and Mercury being at net 5s. We're needing to feel into what we believe about what's being communicated with us as well, because we don't want to play into trickster energy. Maui the trickster. We need to know and be grounded with what it is that we're speaking into our existence, into our reality, and how that has played out for us. We can re-examine old journals, old photos, old notes, old emails, and see how we communicate now versus how we did, and what that does for us. Leo, have an amazing week. I hope that the Sun conjunct Uranus brings about innovations, flashes of inspiration. Please keep me posted in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Have an amazing week. Aloha.